What's going on YouTube? This is Andre ClassicCuts reporting live with another video, and in this one specifically I'm pretty much going to give you guys an updated video for the latest cut buddy that just got released. So pretty much I'm going to go in the ins and outs, the differences, what makes it better, what makes it stand out, the importance of getting this one versus the older one. I'm going to just go into details about every little thing for the latest one. This is pretty much the package that it comes in. As you can see, it's much more bigger than the previous one. This is me before I ended up using the latest one. Of course, I did a full demonstration on myself again with the latest one, and this is me using it after. Okay, so now let's jump into this review. This is the package. As you can see, it has a lot of labels, a lot of stuff going on with the package. You have a protractor, a comb, and then a ruler. On the edges, you can actually see that they're like measurements, and at the bottom is a comb, which is really different. At the back of that, you can actually see that there's different positions that you can go in and actually use the cut buddy, and the way you can shape yourself up from all types of different angles, from top to bottom, to the sides, all around. There's so many different angles that you could use the cut buddy in there, pretty much pointing it out. I remember with the previous one, you really didn't have any instructions, and this is how it looks. As you can see, it's much more bigger than the previous one, and you could pretty much do more things with it. That's what I will say after going and using it on myself. And at the bottom, the fact that it's a comb is really helpful, because a lot of time when you line yourself up, the comb will really help you knock out those little hairs that get in the way that you specifically want to cut, to keep the entire line-up process extremely crispy. So the fact that they added that comb at the end, it was an amazing touch just to add to it. So as you can see, the before and after one, the latest and greatest one, and then the previous one that has already been around. And right there you can see it's actual lines on the older one, but if you look really close at the newer one, there's actually engraved measurements as if it was a ruler, where all of them aren't even. And this is pretty much the bend test. As you can see, before, the other one you could like bend it all over, and I remember when I was bending it, it seemed like the actual black part, it could come off over time, but with this one, it's way more sturdy. You could tell that it's gonna last much more longer, and you don't have to worry about if you don't have a Phillips screwdriver or something, or if it comes apart. So that's that. I also went in and combed my hair, brushed my hair, just to give you guys a feel of exactly how it'll be used. Also use spritz for my lineup. I actually made my hair completely stiff so I could just go in and cut everything with the cut buddy and don't have to go over it too many times, just for video purposes. So as before, as you guys seen in my previous video, if you haven't seen the previous one, definitely go check that one out. But pretty much I used the same steps that I did from the one before, and I'm going in and I'm showing you guys basically how this one actually helps out more. Before you start using the cut buddy, make sure that you have it set in stone to where exactly you want to cut it. Try to make sure that the ridges are pressed towards your skin. You really don't want it to be able to end up moving up or end up leaning up or sliding up. And the fact that this one don't move as much. Obviously both of them are plastic, but like I said before, this is a much harder plastic, so it's easy to actually keep the line going straight without worrying about it actually moving or shifting. And also, when I first got my cut buddy, I gave it to my dad and just let him test it out. And something else I ended up realizing was the fact that the clippers, the trimmers, the cutting blade, the inside of that blade, it actually left marks on the cut buddy just from it actually nicking it, and of course touching the cut buddy over and over again. The plastic ended up kind of deteriorating. Everything stayed the same, but it was just like you could just see where the cutting blade actually put engraved marks in the inside of the cutting blade. But with this one, the plastic is so like rough to the point that even if you was to do that, you wouldn't even be able to tell. So I feel like that really helped, definitely. And the fact that these have lines, you could really pinpoint exactly how long you want your box to be. You could just look really close and really count each individual line and get a precise one, where the other one, it pretty much had a set amount to the point to where it wasn't a lot for you to really use as a measurement. It was just the fact that they was there. So that's another thing that I feel like just really made this one stand out. So I'm just going over my lineup, of course. knocking out the little hairs that stand out, not really creating a line like I always say. I'm just going over it with the cut buddy, just making sure that any little hairs that's sticking out of the line that's naturally there, I'm going back over and I'm knocking those out. I'm like zeroing in on those. So as you can clearly see, my line is already pretty much there. Now I'm just really going back and doing detail work, and I'm going over it and zooming in and making sure that that line is extremely straight. To most barbers, to most people, they could look at my line and say, okay, his line is straight. You don't have to continue to go back over it as many times as I'm doing, but I really just want to make sure that it's extremely crispy. I could get more days out of that lineup if I can make it as sharp as possible. So I'm just put it in an extra 5 to 10 more minutes just to make sure that it's actually in a crisp line, so I could actually get more out of it, and it'll be easier for me to go back and do the same thing once you have a nice lineup. There's a lot of times where once you mess up or somebody push you back or it just so happened to be like slanted in a way, it's kind of hard to recover from it, especially when you have new barbers cutting your hair that don't really know where the line was before. So that was another thing that I was just like, just a disclaimer for the cut buddy, when you actually use it, just make sure you don't push your line back and just knock out the little hairs that's hanging over your natural lineup. So after you go over your cut buddy and you realize you have your line on the sides and on the top, you really don't have to use the cut buddy as much and just go over it and freehand it and just knock out little hairs that you see hanging down once you use the cut buddy and you finally have a line. Also, my promo code is still Andre, all caps. So from here, the curve right here, this one is way bigger versus the other one. The other one was, it wasn't small, but it's not necessarily like this one. This one it's more wider and it gives you more of a range to actually change up different types of curves. Obviously, as you see how I'm placing it on my head, if I twist it more towards my ear, I could get a more sharper curve. With the other one, it was pretty much like set in stone and not as wide of a range to do like with this one. And also with this, you can actually go in and make the back line really, really nice and crispy also. Same thing as the other one. This part was pretty much the same exact thing. But yeah, also it didn't have, like, this one don't have screws at all, so I just feel like that's a really good move, because you would need a Phillips screwdriver if at any point the other one end up coming loose, because it had the 2 screws that keep everything intact. And with that just being out of the picture, you don't even need a tool. You pretty much just need to have this itself. But this one is much bigger, slightly bigger, so that's one thing. If you like the small size, let me know. Just put in the comments if you think that the small size was better. If you feel like the bigger size would be better based on this video right here and based on what you see from before, just let me know. I'm just curious what you guys think about the differences between this one right here and the older one. Also, you can see the curve on this one, the largest curve, it pretty much takes up my whole face, which give me a range to really, same thing with the curve in the beginning. I could make the curve as sharp or as wide as I want to. I have a much better range of actually going in and using it versus before. And like I said before, I could always go back and use my comb and straighten all of the little hairs out that I'm gonna go in and line up, instead of having to put it down, pick up the comb, then I have to remember where everything left off. Right there with the comb being right there, I could easily just comb anything down at any point if I feel like anything is out of line. So still going in the same way. Like I always say, don't create a line, don't create anything. Just try to go over your natural lineup and knock out the little hairs that's sticking out. This is also a really good area for like your box area, how I'm doing my curve right there. Perfect. It's the latest one. It's about $10 or $11. Definitely, if you're trying to go get this one and you feel like $10 or $11 is just too much for your pockets, just go in and use my promo code and get yourself a discount. It's still Andre, all caps. It's the same promo code as the last one. So going in at the bottom, I actually seen that on a package. It had pictures of a person actually lining up the bottom of their neck. Well, I never thought to use the cut buddy to do this until I actually seen some of those illustrations. So I just pretty much used the same exact move. I just went over it with the cut buddy being underneath my neck, and then after I did my first line and lined everything up, I just went back and knocked out the little hairs that was just pretty much going over my natural line that was at the bottom. Same exact thing. So same thing with my beard area, the bottom of it. I did the same exact thing as the line up. I pretty much placed it in position, and from there what I did was just make sure that I just knock out the little hairs that's interrupting that perfect line, that natural line that's already there. What are you guys pros and cons about the cut buddy? I seen like a lot of you guys purchased it. I just want to know, like, what are you guys thoughts about the cut buddy? Did it really help you guys with lining yourselves up? I know a lot of people, they have clippers at home and they're more so into giving themselves a lineup before having to go to the barbershop and get a full entire cut, which I feel like this is extremely good investment for most people that just really want to always have a crispy lineup. I literally give myself a lineup almost every week or every 2 weeks. I never go over 2 weeks, but in most cases. So right there with my beard area where I just combed it down, it was perfect for me because I always comb my beard and my mustache area when I'm lining it up perfectly. It's the best thing because it's like a brush don't really get the job done when you're doing your mustache area, and for the comb to actually have it attached to the cut buddy, that's just perfect. That concludes this video. I hope you guys like the updated version of the Cut Buddy Plus. Definitely let me know what y'all think. Definitely use my promo code and get a discounted price for the latest Cut Buddy. And I'm out. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe to your boy Andre Classic Cuts, and make sure y'all hit that bell right there so y'all be notified every single time I drop new heat. And more importantly, I'm always on like Twitter or Instagram, but mostly Instagram, and I try to like follow back every single person, and I drop pictures of my cuts on a regular basis. So if you follow me on Instagram, I can follow you back instantly. And I'm out.